Well, welcome to Icy Strait Point, a popular cruise port on Alaska Inside Passage cruises. If your Alaska cruise brings you here, you're in for something special. Stick around because in this video, I'll be sharing our whale watching excursion as well as useful info and tips about this port. It's coming right up. Ahoy fellow travelers and welcome aboard the Royal Princess. We're currently on our 7-day southbound Voyage of the Glaciers cruise. After 2 days of scenic cruising at Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay National Park, today we're thrilled to explore the wonders of our first port, Icy Strait Point, where we have got an exciting excursion lined up. We've booked the whales and wildlife cruise offered by the cruise line, which we don't normally do, but on this occasion, on this cruise, we found the price of excursion offered by Princess no more expensive, and in many cases cheaper than booking the equivalent tour with local tour operators. So it's a no-brainer because if the port call is cancelled, we'll be automatically refunded. There are two purpose-built docks at Icy Strait Point. Ocean Landing, which is where Radiance of the Seas is currently docked at. We saw it actually a few days ago at Seward. We are currently docked at the other landing, which is the Wilderness Landing. However, our ship actually only got the slot until late morning, so later when we come back, we are gonna have to be tendered back to the ship. Our excursion is scheduled from 10:15 a.m. to 12:45. Leaving us with time afterwards to experience the port itself, as well as, well, if the clouds clear up, the exhilarating Sky Glider mountaintop gondola. Right, before we get off the ship, let's go have breakfast at Horizon Court. So, I got a very big breakfast to fill up ahead of the day. So day 3, first time we're getting off the ship. Excited. Well, Icy Strait Point by name.
Yes, and by
Nature as well. Hello.
hello.
Cool. Here we go. We're out here. Well, welcome to Icy Strait Point. So, with our excursion, we'll just be boarding at this pontoon. It will be leaving here in about half an hour, 45 minutes at 10:15. So let's take a quick look around the Wilderness Landing area first. Well, on the Wilderness Landing side, you'll find the Sky Glider gondola that will take you to the Sky Peak, the top of the Hoonah Mountain. There, we can have a great view of an Icy Strait Point from 1,500 feet above sea level. It requires a ticket, which can be pre-booked. However, it costs the same to buy it here or before the cruise. So you can wait until here to see whether the weather is good before you get the ticket. If you haven't bought your Sky Peak ticket, the Sky Peak gondola tickets, you can get it here from the information and tours. As I said, it costs exactly the same price. Right, just coming in to have a look at the souvenir shop on the Wilderness Landing side. It's quite a lot of nice t-shirts. Finally, there is a transporter gondola that takes you over to Ocean Landing, which is the main hub here at Icy Strait Point. We'll be hopping on it later after our excursion. But for now, it's time to head back to the pier and join our whale watching tour. Well, would you believe it? The sun has actually come out in Southeast Alaska for the first time. We're just lining up to get onto our whale watching boat and it's starting to board now, so let's get on. Yeah, they really pack the numbers in, so we'll see whether there's a good experience. The boat for this whale watching tour is fairly large, with room for up to 154 passengers, and they really packed it in. At first, I was a bit worried that we wouldn't find a decent vantage point for spotting whales, but surprisingly, not everyone was keen to head outside, so we actually managed to grab a great spot. Yay! Wow! Wow! Look at that. Wow! Well, I hope you enjoyed that whale show. It totally blew my mind. We saw countless whales, and there was a good team spirit among those out on the deck. We were scanning all directions, and as soon as someone spotted a whale, they would call out the direction, and we will all then be training our cameras in that direction to hopefully capture that elusive and beautiful whale tail. I've got to say that I'm pleasantly surprised by how well the excursion went. By the way, if you enjoyed that too, put the like button so that YouTube spread this video to more viewers like you. And if you aren't a subscriber yet, please consider doing so. I've got a lot more Alaska travel content coming up and you don't want to be missing out. Right, we're now ready to take the transporter gondola to the ocean landing site to explore other things. So when you come off the transporter gondola, you arrive at Ocean Landing. Ocean Landing is basically the main hub in Icy Strait Point. Here, you'll find shops, restaurants, and meeting points for some excursions. When you take the transporter gondola to Ocean Landing, you'll immediately find the Adventure Center next to it. There's a coffee shop inside, but the main purpose here is for meeting up for many of the excursions. There are 3 restaurants around. The main one is the Duck Point Smokehouse Restaurant. The restaurant focuses on smoked meats, seafood, and burgers, including local options like halibut and smoked salmon. It's got decent reviews, and if you are after something different from the ship's food, it could be worth a try. After leaving Duck Point Smokehouse, there's a coastal path that takes you towards the cannery area. This is where you'll find the restored 1912 salmon cannery, which now houses a museum, some shops, and more restaurants. On the way, we pass a wood chip fire, a fire pit where wood chips are burned, giving it a nice rustic feel. Then, just a bit further along, you'll see the Orca Dream sculpture. It's a striking piece of art created by marine artist Wyland, and it was actually donated by the CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line. It's positioned overlooking the bay, where orcas are sometimes seen. It's worth pausing here for a moment to look, but sadly we didn't spot any this time. After the sculpture, as you continue along the path, you'll pass a few private homes and a small cemetery on your left. After that, you'll find the Cookhouse restaurant. Here, you get good fish and chips. Well, then you have shops and the Icy Strait Cannery Museum. This used to be a salmon cannery here, so the museum is about the heritage of Alaska's salmon fishing industry. It was once a vital part of the region's economy. You can learn about the traditional methods of salmon fishing, processing, and canning that were employed in the past. And you can explore the machinery and equipment used in the cannery, gaining insight into the labor-intensive process of turning freshly caught salmon into canned goods. One of the things that caught my eye was this guillotine machine. It was used to chop off the heads of the salmon.
After that, the fish will be gutted, washed, and cut into pieces to fit into the cans. They will then seal on the lids, and then a vacuum will be drawn. And then finally, the cans will be loaded into the retort ovens for pressure cooking. Finally, the museum also has lots of shops for visitors, as you would expect.
Through this door, you will find the third and the last restaurant at Icy Straits Point, the Crab House. As the name suggests, it's all about crabs here. Okay. You'll also find a donut shop here, as well as the kayak center. This is where kayak excursions are launched. Over there is a heritage center. And as you can see, there's going to be a tribal dance performance at 2 o'clock. So if you want to see the performance here, the tribal dance, then you need to get a ticket, which is $21, and you can get it from over there. Over there, you can get a shuttle, which is not free if you want to go to Hoonah, the town nearby. It's only 1.5 miles walk away, but you can take the shuttle. On your way back to the transporter gondola, you can walk along this beach path. Well, we just took the transporter and we got back to the wilderness landing site. There is a really long line for the sky glider to go up to the Hoonah Mountain, and the weather is not that great, so I think we'll probably skip it this time. Well, in any case, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Click on one of these video links to watch more of our Alaska adventures. I'll see you over there. Ciao!
Every 20 seconds you repeat.